Last year, a Georgetown University graduate spent months in a Libyan prison after being captured by Muammar Gaddafi's forces. Now, the young American wants to go to the front lines of Syria and spend time with the rebels. Nick Valencia tells us why.
Early last year, Matthew Van Dyke left his home in the United States for Libya to film and to fight. He wanted to help rebel forces overthrow longtime dictator Muammar Gaddafi. Years before, he'd made friends with many locals during a motorcycle trip across the region.
I decided that I couldn't just sit at home and watch this happen to people I cared about. So I decided that I would go to Libya. I called my girlfriend and said, sorry, you should come home from work. I'm on my way to Libya. And I just went.
After less than a week there, Van Dyke was captured by Gaddafi's forces while on a reconnaissance mission for rebels in the city of Brega. He was taken to Tripoli and held in solitary confinement, enduring what he calls psychological torture in the high-security Abu Salim prison.
This is where I spent about 85 days when I was first captured.
And there were times when he thought his life would end there.
I thought that I would be in prison for 20 or 30 years or possibly executed. I was captured before NATO was involved in Libya, so I had no idea that NATO had gotten involved until after I escaped prison. But then after escaping prison, I went right back to the front line and continued doing it.
Now, nearly a year since leaving Libya, the 33-year-old graduate of Georgetown University wants to go back to the front lines. But this time, he is destined for Syria. He says he's better prepared than most for the journey.
I knew people in Libya. I've been to Syria before. I've been working and living in the region for years. It's not like I just threw a dart at a map and went over there.
As the conflict in Syria spreads and the casualties mount, Van Dyke says he knows this journey will be even more dangerous than his ill-fated trip to Libya.
I'm not looking forward to it actually going back. It's not something. I find people that enjoy it. I think something might be wrong with them. People who thrill seek in war. I don't like war tourists. I don't like people who go for a rush. If I want to rush, I'll go drive my motorcycle like I used to do. I don't intend to die, but obviously when I go and put myself up on the front line, death is a possibility, and I recognize that. You guys are ready to move back? I just got here with shrapnel.
Despite the risks, he says his family supports what he's doing.
My mother raised me with a set of morals. She raised me with a set of beliefs. She raised me to keep my commitments. She understood when I did not come home after escaping prison in Libya and that I stayed to fight.
And Nick joins me now here in studio. Wow. So he says that he's not a thrill seeker, but does he have any training to go ahead and do this?
There's a lot of concerns here about what he's about to get himself into right now. He's going into this with the best intentions. He says he has no formal military experience. He's never been in the service. He's never served in the U.S. Army, but he has shot guns before. He has a lot of experience in these types of areas. We mentioned in the piece there, he did this motorcycle trip across the country and made a lot of friends, so he feels comfortable in this area. I asked him, do you still have support of your friends and family? Randy, in fact, it was his mother that drove him to the airport, if you can believe that. He decided just days before going to Libya that he was going to go. I asked him, are your friends and family, are they concerned about you? Do they still support you? He says, my friends in America, they do. They may think I've got to screw loose a little bit, but most of my friends are in the region. Most of my friends now are in the Middle East region. He spent a lot of time there.
And he says he's going to put this in a documentary and provide that online free of charge?
Right, and one thing that he wanted us to make abundantly clear is that he does not consider himself a journalist. There was some discrepancy when he was held in solitary confinement there in Abu Salim prison. You saw that video. We got that video actually because he went back to film where he was at. This whole time he was documenting his journey, Randy, while he was in Libya. He plans on doing the same thing, and he's funding this so unconventionally. He's funding this with people sort of his generation, the youth. Kickstarter.com is this new online fundraising site. He's already raised over $12,000, if you can believe it.
Wow, that is amazing. You contacted the State Department about this. I'm really curious to hear what they had to say about this guy.
We did, because we were talking here in the newsroom and just with other sources. Their concern for him going is that the Assad regime can point to him and say, even if this is not the case, this is an example that the revolution is not a populist uprising. This is an example that there are foreign forces in play here, and Matthew Van Dyke would be one of them. But the U.S. State Department told us, they wouldn't comment specifically on his case, but they told us that they continue to warn U.S. citizens that travel to Syria, and they said that warning sort of speaks for itself, that they strongly recommend that U.S. citizens remaining in Syria depart immediately, but he plans on going anyway. He's going to leave in a couple of weeks. He, for security and safety reasons, wouldn't tell us exactly when he was going to go, but he plans on doing exactly what he did in Libya, this time, though, acting more as a filmmaker than an activist.
Well, I hope he gets back safely, and I hope to hear more from him and you on this when he gets back.
We all do.
Stay on it for sure.
Okay.
All right, Nick, thank
Thanks.
you.